Thank you, French, but shalom and greetings to you all. Now, tempest fugit, time flies. Hanukkah's over. Winter solstice is coming. Christmas is coming. We're on the second last reading of the book of Genesis. In a couple of weeks, we'll begin the book of names, Shemot, in which names play a dominant role. We know it better as Exodus, and perhaps that gives you kind of a different clue as to what it's about. But the Exodus story, it's actually secondary. The names are the real story, and we will examine them when we read it, but the names have actually been quite significant to date in the Bible. We will look at a name today that has ripples that run throughout history. And this reaffirms that the Jewish Bible did not smooth out the human foibles of its characters. Some are admirable, some not so much. It is commentary that tries to explain the good and the bad. We've been given a light through which to see and think for ourselves. Commentary is good, but use it to supplement your own reading, your own conclusions. Now, from the time Hanukkah began to when it ended, we watched the light increase. We saw the candles grow in intensity, a reminder of life. We got to watch them burn and notice things. And every day, I watched the candles and I noted which ones burned quickest or slowest and how. And I checked them against the list of what each candle represented, because each candle represented something. Now, those can be messages. We're often given messages at all times, and sometimes we pay attention, and sometimes we do not. If you haven't been, then pay a little more attention to the messages in your life. You'd be amazed how many you get. Now, isn't it also great that everybody survived the day that will live in infamy? Most without even noticing. And it just goes to show that if you wait long enough, you can see how long infamy lasts. It's very interesting that 80 years seems to be long enough. I bet most people these days would not even know what that phrase means anymore. Now, friends, when we no longer honor past events, whether good or bad, we forget. This may be a warning that we are forgetting too much, too soon. And while some things get forgotten quickly, other things last forever. Just over a week will be something that has been observed and honored since we began measuring time. The change of seasons, when we observe the shortest day of the year, the winter solstice, it marked the time of the earth's rest as it slept in the winter and got ready for new birth, new growth for spring. And we'll be doing our change of season ritual and our memorial service, so keep sending in the names of those you want us to light a candle for. And of course, after that special observation, coming in 2 short weeks, is the second half of the Twin Festivals of Light. And it's odd that the usual pair of festivals are so separated this year. In fact, this is the longest apart they ever are. And it just is, a little reminder of what's coming. So, have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. Next year, all our troubles will be out of sight. Someday soon, we all will be together. If the fates allow. Until then, we'll have to muddle through somehow. So have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Now, isn't it the sentiment of that song that's so fantastic? And you can put whatever holiday you want. Have yourself a merry little Hanukkah. Have yourself a merry little New Year. Have yourself a merry little Rosh Hashanah. Have yourself a merry little birthday. Change the name, but the meaning lives on. It's an entreaty for us to be at peace, to be together, to be happy, as we were designed to be. So be happy, my friends. It is a choice. And we celebrate our happiness when we come together. And we see that we are different but the same as we pray and honor our spiritual beliefs. You with yours, me with mine, them with theirs. All accepted in a gathering, a collective consciousness of seekers showing individual faith, any and all faith, love, any and all love, a true chavura, a fellowship, expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach. Sharing and bringing light, keeping fear at bay. And even though together we're always individual in our approach, and that's how it should be, each connecting in his or her or their own way. So once again, please do go ahead. Invite everybody, some physically, the rest digitally, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, to gather and share. From Psalm 133, the Hine Matov, come together. Hine Matov. Shevet Achim Gam Yah. Hine Matov Umenayim. Shevet Achim Gam Yah. How good and pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. Let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world. Remember, friends, this is you setting aside just a little bit of sacred time in your sacred space to honor and converse with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in, because we all believe in something. It's a part of your kavanah, your intention. You put it out to the universe, it is your goodwill. Goodwill and intention are the roots of what you control, of what you can correct. Your intention sets in motion everything that occurs in your lives. And it is light honored more at this time of the year than any other, when darkness is all around, that we send out to help heal those in need of healing, in need of the blessings of God. So let's take some time now. Let's use the light, the intention, and send some of that goodwill, some renewal and healing out to whoever you know that needs it. Healing and renewal for everybody. Floats through space, finding those in need. So send it out for those you know and for the souls and spirits of everyone you love. So think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people, it's for our pets, it's for the earth, it is the healing of the world, the tikkun olam that's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. It is our task to help heal the world. It's not something we can complete, it is simply an ongoing commitment we make to be dealt with in this lifetime. It is for every lifetime until it is finally healed. We each must do our part. Each of us, do what you can to improve and change your own little corner of the world. As we change ourselves, we change the conditions of our lives. And a part of that healing of the world is when we send these thoughts and energy for health and renewal and goodwill for everybody. They don't have to be sick. It's for those in our hearts and our minds. Let's all send energy out for the people in need everywhere. Special thoughts and prayers for Adrian, for Shayna, for Doria and Mindala, for Bolito, for Sky and Desmo, for Sherry and Connie, for Daniel and Joe, for Aurelia, for Luke and the Builder, for Kathleen, Dave, for Lori, for Anna, for all the sacred animal friends everywhere that we all have had, for everybody you know in need, for the whole world, and for dear sweet Devorah. Friends, it is the kindness, the healing wishes, goodwill, and love we all send out. It just circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care. Because the world is a world of spirit, and spirit, my friends, never dies. Me. Avotenu Makor HaRachum Limotenu. May the source of strength before us help us find the courage, make our lives a blessing, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. Let us say, and I mean, Yishaberach, let us all of our spirits renew. This is the great prayer for healing, which we call upon God to heal as He's healed before. Mishaberach, may He who blessed, because all healing's a blessing, so let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. Now, there's just 2 readings left in this opening book of the Bible. As we witness the descent of man, we got to know a family. Not unlike the families we know, the good, the bad, the choices we all make. And no one is immune from possible descent. You know, we may descend, but we always try and rise again. Now, even the great ruler of Egypt, Joseph, showed he too was human as he toyed with his brothers. We saw last week, he listened in on them. spoke with an interpreter, not letting them know that he knew the language. He manipulated their packs, accused them of being spies, forced them to go back home, and not to return without bringing their missing brother Benjamin. But he was playing with them the entire time, and he was accusing them of something he knew that they actually weren't guilty of. There's a man who has a life of danger. Everyone he meets, he stays a stranger. With every move he makes, another chance he takes, odds are he won't live to see tomorrow. He knows they're not spies, and they need not fear, but they don't know that. And their fear is real, even if nothing else is. Now, he even keeps one brother as a hostage to guarantee the return of the others, not knowing that his father would gladly sacrifice this son if there were enough food. He didn't have to send the others back. And Joseph watched as the brothers speculated perhaps this was their karma coming back on them for their treatment of Joseph all those years ago, when they threw him in the pit and sold him, not knowing that that is who they were with. Right? He let them twist and turn in their own guilt. He watched and waited in the wings, watching them, watching their actions, their reactions, seeing their feelings, hearing their honesty. I look from the wings at the play you are staging, while my guitar gently weeps, as I'm sitting here doing nothing but aging. Still my guitar gently weeps. He watched and he waited. These are the brothers who sold him, who ignored his cries for help as he begged and implored them. Now, the hostage is kept, the brothers return home, and in his inimitable way, Jacob does not send them back until they're out of food again. So what if one of his sons is held as hostage and they do not know how Joseph, the great lord of Egypt, who they do not know is Joseph, may be trading him? Poor Simon. Out of hunger and fear, it's the only reason the brothers returned. We read Vayagesh, and he went over. Judah goes over to talk to Joseph, still not suspecting who he may be. And he recounts the events, Genesis 44:18. Judah went over to him and said, "Please, my lord, let your servant speak something in my lord's ears. Let your anger not flare at your servant, because you're like Pharaoh himself." He repeats how Joseph demanded the young brother come down, how Jacob resisted because he only cared for two sons, Joseph, who was dead, and Benjamin, Joseph's full brother. But due to ensuing starvation, Jacob relented and sent them back. What a loving father. Everything is about him. If anything happens to Benjamin, woe is me. But Joseph is not the cruel, vengeance-seeking person we may suspect he could be. And who would blame him? Who would not want to get vengeance for the actions of the brothers, happy to see him die and profit off it, condemning him to almost 13 years in prison? Now, if anybody was entitled to see karma take place, it would be Joseph. Genesis 45:1. Joseph was not able to restrain himself in front of everyone who was standing by him, and he called, "Take everyone out from my presence." Not a man stood with him when Joseph made himself known to his brothers. And he wept out loud, and Egypt heard, and Pharaoh's house heard. Now that's some weeping. Even Pharaoh's house heard. And this is the third time we're told that Joseph wept. And Joseph said to his brothers, "I am Joseph." And he says it in Hebrew so that the brothers understand him. Ani Yosef. I am Joseph. Wow. Can you imagine the brothers' reaction? Here he is, their dead brother, who could have demanded revenge, but instead he wept for the joy at being reunited with those who threw him on the rubbish heap of history. He, like his uncle Esau before him, understood the big picture, saw the forest for the trees, forgave, and moved forward. He even told his brothers not to worry. Genesis 45:4. Joseph said to his brothers, "Come over to me." They went over. And he said, "I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold to Egypt. Now don't be sad. Let there be no anger in your eyes because you sold me here. Because God sent me before you to preserve life. For it's 2 years that the famine is in the land, and for 5 more years there'll be no plowing and harvest." He stood in front of Pharaoh at 30. He went through 7 good years and now 2 years of famine. He's 39. There's 5 years of famine left. And he still has work to do. And God sent me ahead of you to provide a remnant for you in the earth and to keep you alive as a big surviving community. And now, it wasn't you who sent me here, but God. And he made me into a father to Pharaoh and a lord to all his house and a ruler in all the land of Egypt. He's now wise. He knows the brothers were just a tool of God, that he was chosen. God sent him to save the family. But he said something no one else in the Bible has ever said, and that people don't really talk about. Now, what did it mean, and who was this man who says he is father to Pharaoh? I love when lore and history converge. One of the great biblical studies is in the use of words. When the same, they are connected. Here, well, this is the only biblical reference to father of Pharaoh. Interestingly, the exact same phrase actually has a written Egyptian counterpart and is only used once, father to Pharaoh, in describing someone named Yuya. Was he Joseph? Do we know who the biblical Joseph now was? Yuya is the only one we know of in all history given the title father to Pharaoh. We also know he was of foreign origin and was considered to look Semitic. It's been speculated that his name, which we know simply from the writing of it, was that it was in deference to his god, Jehovah. Now, his daughter Tai was the great wife of Amenhotep III, one of the greatest pharaohs of the 18th dynasty, which therefore made him father to Pharaoh. And then that made him also the grandfather of Akhenaten, perhaps the most interesting of all the pharaohs, father to Tutankhamun, and who tried to introduce monotheism to the Egyptians, and who Sigmund Freud suggested was the real-life Moses. Now that is a history worth examining, my friends. Well, Pharaoh's all excited for Joseph, and he sends for his family. He gives them the best land, and he welcomes them as his own. They come down to Egypt to survive, with God telling Jacob that he will lead them down, but he will lead them back out. The 400 years of slavery is about to begin. Friends, where history and mythology intersect, there is magic. Yes, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light, all who live in the light, and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone, and end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we are a community. We learn together, we celebrate each other, we love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. Let's all send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. Please do learn to forgive, learn to love, including yourself. Open your hearts, honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have and enjoy the journey, because we take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our efforts to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. Now, bless you all. Have a fantastic week, a week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intentions and use them to imprint your will on the universe, because we set in motion everything that happens in our lives. It is our intention, our Kavana, our cause, our effect. Everything is linked. As I've said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what's good and bad. So acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged. Ask forgiveness. Do so with sincerity, accountability, and vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate, because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people in the world just as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land. It is your home. Keep on dreaming. Keep on being. Keep sharing. Keep shining. Keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, my friends. Follow love. It's always in front of you. And remember to faith, an unwavering adherence to principle, just as I have faith in the principle of love and of all of you. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none. Defraud none. Hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace in this year. And may you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. Work to be present in the body. Expand your heart, quiet your mind, because the deepest source of real power lies in your consciousness and your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances, to make the most of your time in this life. Continue to touch and transform the lives around you, because you're never alone. You're forever blessed. You have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet, health, love, and renewal to everybody you come across. Your words are your power to transform, to love. So be generous with them. As you bless others, you bless yourself. Love with the heart, because we're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear, forgiveness, not anger. And be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. And continue to explore faith and belief. Never accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel, others have felt. Whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together, we learn together, and we help each other, because we are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives, so find them. Tell them what they mean. And remember, you're never alone on your journey to your promised land. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive. Keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. Feel your feelings. And like Joseph, do not be afraid to cry. Sometimes we know. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we give. Sometimes we won't. Sometimes we're strong. Sometimes we're wrong. Sometimes we cry. Sometimes it's bad when the going gets tough. You may look in the mirror. You may want to give up. Sometimes you don't even think you'll try. Sometimes we cry. Sometimes we cry. Yes, my friends, we will, we do, we can. Vulnerability is our strength, not our weakness. Well, thank you for joining me. Have a great week. Keep sharing the light. Keep exercising forgiveness. Be thankful, be gracious, be kind, be loving. Believe in yourself and in love. Have a little faith. Continue to spread a little goodwill to the world. Continue to note the miracles in life. And never forget, you are the miracle in someone else's life. And keep sending in the names of anybody you want a candle lit for. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care. We'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.